We lived there until adulthood.
Yeah. All my schooling was in what was the Union of South Africa. And
the USA.
Yeah, my family...
The USA.
My family got there just as they instituted apartheid. I remember the election. My brother and I were standing with some other kids and we were throwing stones at all the automobiles that had stickers supporting the white nationalist party. We were just letting them have it.
You were how old?
About 10 by then.
And on this basis, Nicholas Whitehead qualifies to be our ambassador to South Africa in the Middle government. All right, he puts on his hat. Huzzah, huzzah.
I have now been appointed officially to be the cultural and maybe even political ambassador to South Africa from the World Center of Santa Cruz.
And I'd like to catechize you publicly, okay? Could you tell our listening audience, please, what is the name of the capital city of South Africa?
They have two capitals.
Oh, really?
Pretoria, the Roman sort of name, and Cape Town, the more civilized.
So is Pretoria the more military, as that name might suggest?
It was really, Pretoria was the headquarters of the Afrikaner white nationalists,
yeah.
the Boers.
Boer. Oh, you say Boer, do you?
Yeah, they were Boers.
The farmers.
At least, yeah.
Well, you know, I had forgotten that aspect of South Africa, which resonates with Bolivia, which also has two capital cities, and I represent Bolivia Peace Corps. Right. And in fact, the core of our Peace Corps movement, we might as well go a little bit into more introduction. So Nicholas is our mythic ambassador to South Africa. The man sitting next to me, one of my oldest friends in the world. Whoops! You were second best man at my wedding.
That's right, I remember
second
that well.
Best.
Second best.
No,
yeah?
My wife and I had 4 attendants each at our wedding, which was this beautiful wedding in the San Gabriel Mountain foothills on the first day of spring in 1982. And Dale was there. He wasn't. I arranged my 4 guys, my 4 best men, in order of how long I had known them. And Dale was second. That
was number 2.
He was number 2. He was my second. And then Jamil, who is our ambassador to Israel, who is in Israel right now, our mythic Jamil Sorani, an ophthalmologist, Dr. Jamil Sorani, who you remember very well.
Was he 1 or 3?
He's the 3rd best man. The 4th best man is no longer alive. That was Charles Warrington Moulton, the great bard of the San Joaquin. He died in a fall from a tree after having suffered a motorcycle accident and then started having spells, blackouts. Why would he go up in a tree if he's having spells? Nobody, but that was the end of it. He was a great man.
Time to go.
Great man. I love his initials. Listen to this, Nicholas. This great bard of the San Joaquin, Charles Warrington Moulton. His initials are CWM, which is a word in English. Coombe, it's from Welsh and it means yes, it's a Welsh word that means a little cleft in a mountain, you know, like the western Coombe on Everest.
I thought it meant to fall out of a tree.
As a matter of fact, I was raised in a little place called Cumberland.
Oh, there you go.
So it's probably very, and it has a lot of rocky clefts.
I see. That's probably an old Celtic term.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's right.
There we go.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about what we mean here.
So the world is round.
I had been using the term epenthesis here, and I explained this very early on. It's explained on the website, which, Morgan, you've been putting the website address on. And thank you very much, Morgan, for all you're doing. And we're not going to put Morgan on camera, but we're going to put his thanks to Morgan on camera.
He's a shy boy.
Yes, well, he's keeping a low profile. In these environs, Dale, we refer to this as keeping a low profile.
Well, you know, there's the foreground and the background.
That's right.
And without a background, there is no foreground.
You've been studying art history, right? Haven't you?
Well, as it turns
Pictorial
out.
space,
yes,
composition,
graphic
things like that.
representations of
We include everything. We are the total informational eclectics. And in fact, Nicholas, when I talked to him early on the phone today, it was yesterday, that's right, when I asked him to be part of this gathering, he said, I understand our purport to be that of education. Right, Nicholas? Do you have anything more to say about that? I mean, ultimately, that's what we intend. We want to raise the level of the society so they understand what we're talking about.
Well, okay, I speak about South Africa in that context.
Yes.
All right. We were in South Africa just a few months ago, Susan and I. She's a retired teacher. I'm a retired journalist. We have a great interest in education. It's ostensibly an English-speaking country, but we found that most of the young black people there were terribly on a terribly low level in their English ability. So when you go to, and this is one of the most developed countries in Africa. Imagine what it's like in the rest of Africa. So there's incredible needs for teachers and teacher trainers to go to countries like South Africa. and get these people facile in the English language, because they'll never be able to use computers if they don't understand the language.
It's such an important, it's a central basis for so much else.
Well, in a perfect world, of course, the computers would be available to them in their native language. So we'll wait on a perfect world, and everything will be fine.
We need to explain
It may be a while.
who Dale is. Dale Lowry is, as well as being one of my oldest friends, we were in graduate school together at UCLA in the 1970s and met in that kind of context in Venice Beach, that district of Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And we were involved in what in those days we referred to as the Taoist
Cowboys.
Now that's something else. That's an adjunct to the larger thing. The Taoist Romantic Revolution. Now the Taoist Cowboys, that was Steve Golden, Milan Rastasov, Schalke, Eric Hawkins and me, but you weren't part of that. You were part of the larger thing.
No, I was one of the Three Musketeers.
Okay. Dale is a computer specialist. Would you why don't you explain your connection to computers and your professionalism? Don't let me do it in that stuff. I want to hear it.
Well, certainly I could.
Dale is the vice presidential candidate that we're running for president and vice president, respectively. And Dale is the vice presidential running mate. Okay, this is clear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So in some sense, this is the official announcement of our candidacy. Because it's the first time we've been together in this kind of way ever. Dale lives in Washington, D.C. It's here in Santa Cruz County, only briefly, a few days for other purposes, but we were taking advantage of this and got the hook and pulled him onto stage, right? It's the opposite.
So I suppose, since this is the first time being introduced to the presumably watching crowd, a short CV would be appropriate. Doctorate in Sociology Public Health from UCLA 1984. Went on to form my own company in software services, specifically Oracle Database Services. Ran that for 15 years. Retired a wealthy man.
Oh, you retired?
For all of those whose wealth is married in friendship, I am wealthy beyond means. And enough of that about that part of the world.
Don't you run that company anymore?
No, I shot it in the head.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was enough already.
All right.
I wanted to just briefly say that it is a profound honor, first of all, to be speaking as, in some guise, a representation of spirits that move, us to announce the attempt to form a representative government, representative in a way that reaches beyond the petty sort of catchphrase that representation has come to be in this country. And it's appropriate that we would meet and do this on July the 3rd, because today is July the 3rd, Saturday, July the 3rd. Okay, fine, it's Saturday in my mind.
Thursday, folks.
But the point being that it's the day before the national, we just say the United States of America, the other USA, celebration of independence. And it is important and appropriate that we would announce to the world our candidacy on this date, because just as on the day before the celebration, the events that led to the national independence, there was a lot of hard work, sacrifice, a lot of discussion that led up to the ability to declare independence.
I realize I have an engraving of that in my guitar case. Excuse me. It's a $2 bill. The back of the $2 bill.
Oh, well, we should probably just forget about my.
While we're at it, we'll show the front too. That guy who wrote it. No,